There we go. Well, I am incredibly honored to be on moderating this panel alongside some incredible guests, just so they can kind of describe and get you up to speed on the projects they're working on. We're going to quickly go down the line, 30 seconds each. Easy, I'll let you take it away.
All right, Easy and Crypto here. I do work with a couple of different projects doing audio. Definitely big shout out to Cypher.media. We're breaking barriers, letting anybody enter the collectible hip hop space. Shout out Whip Publishing, bringing literature, including audiobooks to the blockchain. Shout out Jack's Jazz, amazing jazz show last night. There's another one tonight over at Edison, working with them as well to do some artist bios.
Hi everyone, I'm Lin Dai, CEO and co-founder of OneOf.com, and OneOf is the shout out is the green NFT platform for music that's backed by Quincy Jones, my partner, and here we go.
Hi, my name's Lisa. I'm co-founder of Async Art, where we make dynamic and interactive NFTs. We recently released Async Music, where the songs can change depending on the time, the owners, public data sources. So as you can imagine, the possibilities are endless. So I'm excited to be on a panel with you guys all.
Hello, everyone. Andrew Schiffman. I am a music partnership ambassador at Rally. Rally, we launch digital economies for creators, and we also have an NFT platform as well. So very happy to be here.
Amazing. And I'm Sam, co-founder of NFT Now. We're a Web3 digital media publication focused on NFT news, commentary, analysis. But to set the stage, I know that the conversation today is about NFTs and fan engagement. I think whenever there's interesting technological innovation, like we're seeing with NFTs and the adoption that's coming, it doesn't necessarily create new desires or goals from end customers. It really just alleviates some of the friction that they have when it comes to accomplishing those. So I think when we're thinking about fan engagement, I'd really even just love to take a step back and get your guys' perspective. What do fans actually want, right? NFTs provide new ways to give fans access, but from a fan's perspective and the fan psychology, what is fandom and what are fans after?
Well, as a fan myself of many musicians and then also working in the space, I found that fans do want a deeper connection with the artist or musician, and NFTs can provide that, whether it's unlockable VIP access in the metaverse or here in the Regaverse, maybe a Discord room that's gated to people that hold specific NFTs or a certain amount of a social token. So there's that kind of access direct with a deeper relationship between the fan and the artist.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, certainly exclusive content, right? So we dropped a drop with the game, and there's like kind of music he recorded, never been released. That's part of that drop. But more than that is access, right? And just access to the artist that you're such a big fan of. So everything we do is we think about how the metaverse intersect with the physical world. So our first big drop was Doja Cat. So, we basically, the Doja Cat tokens comes with golden ticket opportunity to her next tour, to backstage passes, to a VIP, live a day in the life of Doja Cat kind of experience. So that's really important. And, this week we were working with the DJ producer Lesso. So his collection is called Cosmic Genesis. It's exclusive music done to this like art and animation that's about like the cosmos. But so we were like, how do we make that a real experience, right? So you can, certainly some of the NFTs will get you, VIP backstage passes or like VIP tables at his Vegas residency, but we're actually giving the one-of-one token holder a ticket to go on a space flight. We're actually the NFT that actually sends you into space, right? So this is kind of a new territory and experiments we're doing with, really exciting experiments we're doing with artists.
That's amazing.
Can I get in on that too?
Yeah,
Lynn?
let's go to space. Let's all go to space.
Let's go to space. Yeah, for us, we want to involve the fans in actually creating the work, utilizing the original musician or the original creator's sources. So imagine recording something while you're at a festival, at a virtual event, and you're basically stamping your timeline, your snapshot in time into the blockchain. So being able to, and the analogy for it is to basically having the musician pull you up as a super fan onto the stage and you're mixing their DJ tracks with them alongside. So that's kind of like what our platform is hoping to achieve.
Super dope.
Very cool. So, I mean, I've been in the industry over 20 years. I spent 12 years upstairs at MTV on the 25th floor, which was very cool. And I've always been an advocate of fan engagement. And, you know, I think music entering this space is a great platform because musicians have always been accessible to their fans, right? Dave Grohl always pulls an audience member out to play guitar on a song. So I think the fans, we're really transitioning and you know, letting them enter to a community, which is the difference between fans where you like someone on Instagram and you stream their music. This really creates a community, and you know, musicians have always been accessible, as I said, and they're you know, they're at the merch booth. They do backstage meet and greets. So having NFTs as a utility, I think, is key, especially in the music space, echoing everything these fine panelists have said too.
For sure, no, and I really love and want to stress that point of utility because I think this does create a new way for artists to create utility for their fans and really level up the way in which they engage with them. So it's not necessarily always about just having the music itself be an NFT, but really coming up with creative ways and utility to engage community. So in that vein, too, I know all of you kind of alluded to some interesting use cases in the space, but I feel like lots of musicians are very intimidated. There's almost kind of analysis paralysis. There's so many different directions you can go in as an artist when it comes to how do I want to engage in the NFT space? Do I just want to mint a song as an NFT, a music video, light animation, or am I going to really innovate upon the utility and provide some interesting access to my fans? So from your guys' perspective, I'd love, and maybe we'll start the other way, Andrew, if you want to lead this one off, but what are some of the core use cases that people that are working in the music industry or musicians should really and deeply consider as their first steps into the world of NFTs?
Yeah, so I always like to pair an NFT launch, you know, parallel to an existing marketing campaign, whether it's a tour or an album release. So, you know, one of Rally's first launches was Portugal the Man, where fans submitted all this unseen exclusive tour footage. So if you held 20 Portugal the Man coins, you had this VIP access to Discord to watch this, you know, never before seen raw concert footage with the band in it as well. They were streaming in. So I think, you know, when you have an existing project, NFTs can definitely, you know, lay under that and enhance the fan experience.
For sure. And Lisa, too, I know with async art, it kind of presents an opportunity for art to evolve over time. Can you speak about maybe how you envision fans actually being able to further contribute to the creative process of music and musicians creating new art?
Yeah, totally. So with Async Music, we launched a brand new feature called Limited Editions. It's essentially like buying a blank CD, and then you're waiting for the music to change to a favorite mix of yours that you actually really like, and then you mint it as the fan, as the purchaser of that limited edition blank CD, and therefore you're snapshotting your place on the blockchain with the musician's, you know, current combination, as well as the other, you know, layer owners, master owners, whoever owns the track at that moment in time. So that's what we're currently offering. What we're also looking forward to is generative music, where multi-editions, one-on-ones, randomly generated, using those musicians' tracks, and then making it super accessible to a lot of people. So what we really keep going back to is, more importantly, there should be like 10,000. It's more important for us that there's 10,000 people collecting $10 NFTs than one person wailing on a single one-on-one, spending like $500,000 on one single NFT. So that's the future-facing vision for all of us. Yeah.
For sure. I feel like that cues you up nicely, Lynn. If you want to even just let them know about the kind of the mission of one of.
Yeah, music's always been accessible and democratizing. Everybody, ever since recorded music invented, like everybody have access to it, right? Like an Apple made music available for 99 cents. So one of our goal is to bring the next 100 million non-crypto native fans into the ecosystem. And the way to do that is not charging them $1,000 NFT up front. So, we basically got the minting cost down to a point where we are offering our artists minting for free, right? So the artists can actually price their NFT for $5, for $1, or even give it away. I mean, we give away 1 million NFTs to iHeart Radio Music Festival attendees and listeners. So this is about democratizing, and really, I think there's just so much. It's difficult when you were talking about how, what are the creatives for the artists. It is hard, right? So, internally we have a creative team that actually help onboard artists and kind of show them what could be possible. Music artists are some of the most creative people ever. Once they, get it, they really can go. The sky's the limit there. But we also, jointly have the responsibility just to move the industry forward. Like the music industry has been very resistant, so we worked for the last 6 months, and we announced on Monday that we have now struck a 3-year NFT deal with the Grammys, with the exclusive Grammy NFT partner. And that's not just for the sake of releasing, Grammy nominees or Grammy winners and music as NFTs. It's really just a signal to all the musicians that this is safe, right? This is something that is not a 2021 fad. This is going to be, we didn't cut a 1-year deal, we cut a 3-year deal. So like the Grammys basically are saying this is going to be part of the music industry moving forward. I think like, it's little things like that. It's not little at all, but like these are the things that kind of move, like, move the water and floats all boats for every one of us that have working on this for years. Like, 2021 is going to be in 2022 it's going to be a great year.
Awesome. And Easy, when it comes to use cases that excite you the most, what stands out?
I love what everybody's doing here. I have a bunch of async planks. Just very excited about where we're at. It seems like the tide is riding. There's a big wave coming. So utility, there's a lot of different utility use cases. I know that community has been mentioned. I think community is like the biggest, kind of founding block we work with. So specifically with Cypher, we do a couple events a week where in Discord, we're dropping the beats. People are coming to rap. They can win some crypto, gets them kind of into the ecosystem. Now, part of what Cypher is trying to do is eliminate barriers. So one of the utilities is you could come on, you could make a Cypher NFT. It doesn't cost anything to you. We've had people come in, make their first Cypher NFT, and within 24 hours make more than the last couple years of, a couple 100,000 streams. So then, excuse me, using that to bootstrap and springboard yourself to be able to afford to maybe get into some studio time or level up, and then you're offering, a little bit of a different experience with your NFT there. So actually using the blockchain and NFTs or Cypher as an example to kind of propel yourself forward with your own music career is another utility that maybe isn't talked about a lot.
Yeah, totally love that. For sure. And even just with regards to propelling a career forward, to some extent in the music industry, it's always spoken around how there's no middle class in music. You're either like a top 1% artist creating the vast majority of revenue in the music industry, or you're a starving artist. And I think NFTs is a mechanism presenting a new model to actually not only engage community, but actually let that community contribute to like a more sustainable economic model for mid-tier artists. Lynn, I want to dive in for a second on the side of, you mentioned kind of trying to bring the next 100 million non-crypto native folks onto the blockchain, crypto NFTs. What do you think are some of right now, if an artist wants to drop an NFT, their community needs to be primed, depending on what platform they drop it on. There's some serious education that might need to happen, having to help them set up fund their first MetaMask wallet. What do you see as some of the kind of key friction points that collectively as builders in this room can really focus on when it comes to alleviating friction, so that way we really can onboard the mainstream market? Yeah,
There's two things that's the biggest friction, right? One is one is the cost, right? Like the minting cost of any of us that bought anything on OpenSea, I'm excited, and then it's like $700 minting just to do this right now. I'm like, but the NFT only costs like $150. So cost for minting is like, that's something that like a lot of L2 projects are solving, and also other proof of stake blockchains are solving. And then the second thing is liquidity, right? So the liquidity right now really is kind of, we're in the space where we're like, there's like 40,000 of us that been doing this for a while. We're trading NFTs with each other. That's not that sustainable, right? So really you need how do we get we should all be working towards like not fighting like which chain is better or which platform is better. Just like how do we kind of focus on educating the next 4 million, 40 million consumer to get in the space. And that's kind of like what we did, right? So we're basically like, okay, we're gonna partner with the biggest artists in the world, like Doja Cat, 30 million followers, #1 streamed female artist on Spotify right now. We're like, okay, well, but her 14-year-old fan is not going to really figure out, if he or she doesn't already, figure out how to open a MetaMask wallet, like probably, that's a friction point when you go to a website and like participate in a drop. So we removed all of that, right? We built a hybrid kind of Web 2, Web 3 experience. If you're really into the ecosystem, you already know what you're doing, you can kind of go the Web 3 path. But if you're just a fan, right, and you see Doja Cat tweet this out and you click on the link, you can sign up an account that you can pay with a credit card and get your first NFT all within kind of 2.5 minutes. Like we timed it. So now you spend $5, you're in the ecosystem, you're talking to everybody on Discord, you're like, oh, this blockchain is not that scary, it's a super supportive community, right? Community is where this thrives. This like any artist can start building a 1,000 people community, 5,000 people community, 10,000 people community. These are your super fans. And this is really kind of the long run is like this is decentralized, right? This is a direct from artist to consumer relationship that like Facebook promised and everybody else, like Web2 company promised that never delivered. So that's what's really exciting.
Yeah, no, I love that too. And when you mentioned the point on superfans, it's interesting because NFTs now actually incentivize even deeper ambassadorship. I think everybody, all fans, going back to what fans really want, like every music fan loves to be early on an artist. And like, I remember when I heard his first song, like before he blew up. But now you can actually kind of have that provable ownership of an NFT earlier on in their career. And as that, and through that ownership, it's not to say like you're just trying to pump your own bag, if you will, but like there is just this deeper tie to co-ownership with the artist and their art.
Yeah, this is really interesting. This is a fundamental shift in the musician and the fan relationship. Everything else in the business model has always been like the fan is giving back to the musician. The musician is like, buy my ticket, buy my CD, listen to my streams, like come join whatever. Even Patreon is like basically like buy access to me. It's always give on the fans, right? This is the first time the fans actually now are participating in your career, right? How much more powerful is that fandom, right? If the fan, this is like the first 100 people that showed up to your show at like whatever little bar, and then they can prove and they can actually be rewarded when you win a Grammy 2 years from now.
No, I absolutely love that too. And I mean, even just the ability to incentivize different layers of engagement and potentially unlock NFTs through showing various actions. I know that oftentimes been like apps where if you sign in with SoundCloud and do retweet or pre-save the song, you can unlock stuff. Like now this also offers a way to leverage those same mechanisms of engagement and ambassadorship, but actually unlock NFTs. I want to turn this to you for a second, Andrew. I know Rally has been pioneering a lot of social token use too, recently doing a lot more with NFTs and empowering artists to kind of truly create digital economies around themselves. I'm curious, as we kind of deconstruct the landscape and go back to that notion of trying to prevent analysis paralysis and create an easy on-ramp, an easy way for artists to engage. Can you just speak to the dynamic of social tokens versus NFTs and what makes sense for an artist and what sort of use cases may jump out for each?
Yeah, sure. I mean, Rally launched with Creator Coins first, and they just brought in an NFT platform maybe 2 or 3 months ago. But really, the social token is a great kind of asset for transacting, for access, for rewarding, and really holding coin does give you that sense of ownership, and it can be used to gift And yes, a lot of NFTs can be utilized exactly the same way as like membership cards. But at Rally, we really are looking at this as crypto, as a currency, and using these to buy the NFTs on our platform. But really, you know, Rally doesn't want to be a platform. They are building integrations where the fans already are. So if you can swipe a credit card there, you should be able to pay with your Rally coin. And, you know, I think that's really, really genius. And the way a lot of companies are going, integrating NFTs into other platforms, cross blockchains and everything. But like Lin was saying, we really want to make it accessible too, and, you know, easy credit card signups. And we really want to make the use cases easy for the fans to imagine, and things they've done before, whether it's participate at a show or, you know, a pre-sale code, or, you know, so we really like to give those easy, you know, use cases as well.
I absolutely love that.
Just real quick to add in, I mean, we're talking about, you know, the musicians be able to give back more to the fans, and I can say that I have purchased audio NFTs and music NFTs where then I've received another NFT just showing up happily in my OpenSea with another song, or, you know, shout out Connie Digital, a pioneer in the audio NFT space, drop in Hue tokens after you purchase something. So, you know, there are very many ways. We could talk for hours here on all the different interesting ways to give back. But I think focusing on that community, the engagement, the rewards, the kind of gamification to make it fun, those are all things that are happening across all these projects.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love that too. And it's more about kind of getting your superfans on than optimizing for a very high sales or market price, and really creating that utility and deeper sense of connection and engagement with fans. I think a lot of artists see the headlines and are like, oh, how do we sell this NFT for that much? When in reality, I think it's you're better off getting more NFTs in the fans of your in the hands of your fans at a cheaper price, just to really start creating that deeper snowball effect. I know we just have a couple minutes left, so I guess one of the last questions I'll ask, and just we're kind of real quick down the line, for artists that are looking to engage in the space, that are intimidated, what advice do you have, or even if your manager is working with artists, what advice do you have for how you can really start to get your feet wet and really gradually onboard yourself into the space?
So I do a lot of onboarding, and I would say just get into the community, dive in. Find a group that you kind of jive with, whether it's on Discord or, you know, your Twitter Spaces and Telegram and, you know, Clubhouse and all these things. Find your tribe and just absorb. Find out what's working, what people are doing. Learn a little about the tech. I think we have a responsibility not only for onboarding those smaller musicians and collectors, but the bigger artists, the A-list artists, the big names also kind of need to take that approach and have a slow roll in, absorb, find out what's possible, and then put your best foot forward.
Yeah, you know, I think musicians need to learn to lean in, right? So it's like this is like we talk to the biggest musicians in the world, but like the conversation has always been like, we're gonna sell out your collection. That's not a problem, right? Like our last collection sold out in 37 seconds, but it's like the work, like your work begins after the sellout, like immediately. You now have a community of super fans, right? Like Chief Keef now have 4,444 like super fans. Like you have to engage with them. So the musician had to really learn to lean in.
Totally. Rapid fire, 15 seconds.
Just echoing what Easy said, Twitter, Discord, get online, talk to people. You're not obligated to do anything. Just do your research. The NFT community is so welcoming, so inclusive. Ask all the silly questions that you want. People will be there to guide you through it.
Listen, y'all, thank you guys so much. That was truly amazing. Thank you, y'all.
Same as what you were saying.